What's going on? Good Lord, that's bright. What's going on, people? Today, we're going to talk about business classes. And we're going to talk about what I've been doing all morning. I mentioned that today was the day to write up concepts for upcoming classes. And I was poking around in Hustler's Kung Fu Life Skills, and I found out where I had started this. And I was calling this, I Will Teach You How to Make Money. And it was very interesting because I was listening and I was like, oh man, this is good stuff. So one of the things I've done is on B School for Hustlers is I have put that collection of webinars, because what they were go-to webinars that I put together, and this information is real relevant because one of the things that I do is I teach you guys tactics, procedures, and principles. I don't teach you platform ready stuff like, for Shopify or for Facebook. I don't teach that stuff. I teach you how to start a business from scratch. So this is where we're going with this. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Once I'm done with this live stream, I will put all this stuff under the video because for those folks, and let's have this conversation. B School for Hustlers. When I put it out, it was $125 payment plan, $1,600 a month. It will remain $1,600 per month. Well, $1,600, buy it and be done with it until the end of the year. And the $125 is gone because I explained that this was because there was nothing there. And a lot of people just kind of like waited, and then they saw that I changed the price. And once again, once I've had somebody go ahead and sign up at $199, I wasn't going to reduce the price because you were late. So when you see a price, because I'm telling you, as I build out B School for Hustlers, the price is going to go up. Right now is the next best opportunity to get in, lock in your discounts to get this knowledge, because starting businesses, I do a lot of foundational stuff that no one else does because many of their courses are attached to a platform, Amazon FBA or Shopify. This is what you do for Amazon. And essentially, I give you the information, the knowledge, the ability to go ahead and create businesses from scratch. I teach you those principles, and I will teach you how to make money on B School for Hustlers. That will be there. It'll be available for you. And what I am going to do is continue working on the business class list, because it's very interesting how many people will start a business like they pick their girlfriend or they pick their boyfriend. It looks good to me. That's the beginning end of it. And one of the classes I'm going to do, I've got your first how, starting a company when you have a job, how to brand your company, making money in your legal structure. And we're going to talk about, and I'm going to write this down, 5, how to start a business that is in alignment with your strengths. Because this is one of the reasons that so many people start businesses and fail. They will start a business that is so far removed from their strengths because it looks good, or hey, it can make a lot of money. You know, I hear that real estate makes a lot of money. I hear that this makes a lot of money. I hear that that makes a lot of money. And you will get people who will get off into these businesses and find out that they're very hard. They're wearing them out because they're so far removed from who they are as a person. And like I said, they pick that business just like people pick mates. It looked good to me. Then 6 months later, you find out she crazy. And 6 months later, you find out this business, and you're at this point where you've put so much into it. The business is making money. And you're like, do I stay with it? Do I bail? What did I do? What do I do here? And we're going to talk about this foundational stuff because the foundational stuff is so important to your long-term success. It is critical to your long-term success. It is so important to your long-term success. And you get a bunch of people out here who, it's kind of like you come out of high school and you come out of a bad high school and you go to college and they tell you that you're going to take all these remedial schools and they go courses because you don't have a good foundation. And this is one of the reasons that so many people will take an online course and fail. One of the things I like to do, there's this guy that's called CoffeeZilla, and he goes after all of the fake gurus. He goes after people who are putting out online courses and charging money. And I've sat there and I've listened to these people. And I can't comment on if the course is good or bad because I did not take the course, but I can comment on the people. This one guy who was a school teacher is making like $35,000 a year. And he took Dan Locke's course and he got so gassed up, he quit his job. Let me just run that by you again. He got so gassed up, he quit his job. He only made $34,000 a year. So he thought he was going to be making all of this money that quick. And the reality is, once again, as I was saying last night, and the funny thing happened last night to the live stream. Live stream was going well, had a lot of participation. Then I showed a clip of this dude who built his own leg, and the channel had a worldwide block copyright on that content. So they blocked the whole stream. I'm telling you, because it was just like, it was one of the best live streams I did. It's actually below this one because I was just so pissed. And this is one of the reasons that you cannot count on these platforms. Because this is something that I've done in countless live streams and it's never happened before. Then boom, they're like, well, we're going to block you. So going back, to this teacher, this guy who he took this course and thought he was going to make all this money. I'm going to tell you the mindset that accompanies that, and it's fundamental ignorance. When I was stationed in the military here at Fort McPherson, Atlanta, and I would go to the back of I would buy these magazines, these entrepreneur magazines, and I would order these things from the back of the magazine. And because I was fundamentally ignorant, I would think that I would order this course, and understand, I was only like 20 years old at the time. So I was very young and very unseasoned. And I would buy this course and think when it got there, I was going to be making all this money. And I did that again and again and again, and it never happened. I ordered this thing where we sold these products out of these magazines. I never made any money because I didn't understand the tactics, the process, and the procedures of making money. I didn't understand how that worked. So I just thought that I was going to be able to buy this Band-Aid and literally fix my life because I was fundamentally ignorant. And I see this ignorance in these people on this channel. They're not remarkable. They're not super smart. And they're going ahead and I want you to think. You pay $2,000 to $20,000 for an online course of mentoring. And you think that's going to get you hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. Like, let's talk about, and if there was a business that you could buy and you bought the business and the business had cash flow, guaranteed cash flow. You buy this business, you were going to make guaranteed cash flow of $1.5 million per year. It's going to happen. Guess how much you would have to pay for that business? It's your accountants, all your people looked at it. It's good to go. You will have to pay $3 to $5 million for that business. But this is something that I've learned later. This is something that I picked up because you got many people out here feeling that they can pay a ridiculously cheap sum of money and get these fantastical results. But once again, they're fundamentally ignorant. They have no foundation. They don't know that 75 million Americans make $33,000 or less a year. They don't know this. They may be one of those Americans. And they're like, man, life is a struggle. Everything's a struggle. Everything is hard. And they don't understand because they're not making no money. Maybe they will understand that. Maybe they will put that together. But this is what happens. That people have no foundation. No one, because I listen to this and people are going on that, the most you should pay for a course is $5, $10, $20. And this is based upon, because I know someone who bought a business that made guaranteed money and they had to pay 2 to 4 times what the business produced. That's what they had to pay to get that business because it was making money. See, you're not going to get something that's already making money on the cheap. Like, let's say you got a rental property, house pulls in $3,000 a month. That house is going to cost you $300,000 to $500,000. That's what it's going to cost you. You're not going to get that house for 10, 20, 30. You're not going to get that. House, pays $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year. You're not going to get that super cheap. And once again, we have so many people who are fundamentally ignorant and they don't know what they don't know. Just like I was when I was 19 years old, thinking I was going to order all of this stuff out the back of a magazine and it was just going to dramatically change my life. So there was this period in my life where I tried that. I got very frustrated and I gave up. I gave up on my business ambitions because everything I tried did not work. It just didn't work. Then I was married, had kids, went through a bad marriage period where I ended up losing everything. And I ended up in that boarding house. And I was in that boarding house about a year and a half. And at this point, it got so messed up that I was seeking solutions for my pain. Because I was in pain. I was in mental pain and I was in physical pain. I had some teeth work. I had some dental work that I couldn't do that I was essentially just a soldier through it. Would go walk around the corner to the Kroger and get some Orajel and put that in my mouth because my mouth was hurting and I had no money to go to a dentist. I had no one to borrow money from. I had no one to go to. It was just physical pain and it was mental pain. And this forced me to seek out solutions. And this is when I began to get a real education. This is where Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field comes in. This is where Brian Tracy came in. This is where Tony Robbins came in. And not only did I go out and address my fundamental ignorance, I began to take that information and apply it. And that literally changed my life. That literally changed everything in my life. And I began to get on this upward arc through education and the application of the education. And I realized I needed more income. I needed way more income. And I got laid off. And then I went home and I began to think. I began to ponder. And I came up with 2 tracks. First track was go back to college, finish up undergrad, go to grad school, get a degree. That was the path that worked for so many people. And I was going to do that. And then something said, hold up, wait a minute. So I actually figured out that if I could start a business, that would be much quicker. And I was like, well, I still need money. So I went ahead and got a job. And this is how I got the job. I went ahead and I went to monster.com. They used to have all these commercials. This was the place to get a job. And I filled out all of these applications, but specifically filled them out enough where I can get the job. And then I went ahead, because I had a few coins left. Then I went ahead and I went out to Voicetel, same thing that Google Voice does for free. And it was like 36 bucks a month, and it was attached to my pager because I had a pager at the time. And one day I got an email for an interview, which was Rent-A-Crate. Got that job. I went for 3 interviews. I interviewed with Mason, then Shanley, then the third, Shanley called me and did you get an offer letter? And no, and then the next day I got an offer letter, overnighted, and that began the process. Because see, I was still fundamentally ignorant, but I knew that at that point in time, I knew that I was fundamentally ignorant. I knew that I needed to get more education. So I worked at Rent-A-Crate, I worked at Panel Systems Unlimited, and I went to Business Environment. And each one of those jobs was another level. Each job was more money. Each job was more responsibility. Each job was more education. So I got on this path of self-improvement, and I worked very, very hard. And going through those 3 jobs prepared me for GC Solutions. That prepared me to run my own business, because now I was educated. I was in a position where I knew what I needed to do. So, because, being a 100% commission salesperson, you're running a business. I already had the LLC set up. I already had everything that I needed to begin this path. And my first business that was successful was GC Solutions. I entered into a deal with this company. I was selling their used office furniture. And if I had really learned my lesson, I would have continued to sell used office furniture because the margins were so much better. And then I was like, I want to sell new office furniture. I want to be that. So I opened up, I went to all of the people I knew from the established relationships I made at business environments. I was able to get business credit from vendors and was able to buy product, use these showrooms, and sell. In that business, it was successful, $1.5 million, but a $35,000, $40,000 net. It was successful. But it was very disappointing because I was used to those large checks I was getting from JDA. Well, I mean, I would sell and I would make some serious money, which led me to the storage auction business because it's like, this used stuff sells like crack. How can I get some more used stuff? How can I find some more of this used stuff? So that led me to go to the newspaper, and I found out there was these things where there was these storage auctions, and that changed my life. But at that point, I had an education in how to run a business. I had an education in how to set things up. I had an education in how to be accountable. I had an education in how to work. So working for those three companies gave me a firm business foundation that allowed me to be successful in the storage auction business, that allowed me to know what I was doing. Because when I got in the storage auction business, first 2 months, they were playing games with me. They were handing me my butt because I didn't know how it worked, but I had a little money and I was able to get in the game. And then slowly but surely, because of my business education, I was able to they don't understand how to sell on eBay. They don't understand how to sell on Craigslist. But I do. So I will start selling on eBay and I start selling on Craigslist, and my profit margins were much better because back in the day, because everyone knows that if you're doing the storage auctions, you're going to sell on eBay, Amazon, OfferUp, Poshmark. Everyone knows that now. Back then, it was not common knowledge. So there was information asymmetry. I knew things that the majority of them didn't know. And most of them made their money with a flea market, or the ballers all had stores. They sold whatever, whenever their store was open. Most of them were open 5 days a week. Some were open 7 days a week. These are the people who had the most money because they had consistent cash flow, and they had higher returns from their buys. And this is why they were able to buy the bigger units. So based upon my business education, I was able to figure out that if I bought the bigger units, proportionally, I would get more for my money. And I started buying 10 by 15s, 10 by 20s, 10 by 30s. And I started buying them before I was prepared to buy them because I had to rent a U-Haul to move them, which cut down on the profit margins. But because we were selling online, our profits were so high that we were able to rent a truck, clean out units, sell on eBay and Amazon, and put money in our pocket and pay all of the bills. And this was a life-changing thing because I understood, hard work without a strategy can get you nowhere. And that's one of the things I learned because, all these companies, they had dynamic salespeople. I knew about a sales process. I knew about a sales funnel. I knew how to talk to the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 1000 company. Jason Clutchy, I got sick and my partner developed cancer. You must be new around here. Because once again, so we did not set up the business where it could run without us. And my partner, I mean, the chemo was rough on her. So she couldn't do anything and I couldn't do anything. So we were trying to get her better, and I decided to write this book. And the first book, and this also goes back to the lessons in the foundational education that I got, because one of the things I would do was write like 30 Craigslist ads a day. And I would try to make them witty and amusing. And I consistently did that for years. So that gave me the discipline to write a book. And my first book was supposed to be a relationship book, where I would walk up to women and say, hey, my name's Glendon Cameron. I'm writing a book on relationships, and I want to just hear your views and opinions. Boom. I remember one night I walked up to this table of extremely attractive women. There was 8 of them. And I was like, hey, y'all look like you're having a good time. My name's Glendon Cameron. This is what I'm doing. And the prettiest one pulled out a chair and said, sit down. We about to talk. And I was at that table for about 3 hours, just chopping it up. Got all of their phone numbers, still Facebook friends with all these chicks to this day. And I learned a lot. So after I wrote half of the book, I realized I didn't want to be the relationship person. I didn't want to be that person. So I had to scramble really quickly. But because I had a foundation in sales, marketing, I was like, all right, so I got to write another book real quick, hurry in the fast. So I went ahead and I had a blog. You can use the Wayback Time Machine to check it out, urbanpackrat.com. And I wasn't really getting any hits, but because I had a foundation, I was like, okay, we've got to create some type of marketing device. And that what brought me to YouTube. So I started this YouTube channel, and then the blog started getting going from literally 1 to 3 to 4 hits a day to 3 to 4 to 500 hits a day. And after about 6 months, the blog was getting 100,000 hits a month from the YouTube channel. And then I wrote that book, but once again, I had a foundational education. Whatever you sell, you need a way to get your marketing going. And I knew that I had to market my book. And there were so many things that was happening during this time, because I was a member of many writer groups, and writers are very artistic, and many of them rejected the stuff that I was commenting about. It's like, well, this is what you need to do. I know writing a book is hard, but what's going to be much harder is the consistent marketing that it's going to take to sell it. And they didn't want to hear that. I used to get in fights. I almost got banned. I had the moderators like, look, hear me and hear me now. Don't do this. And what's so funny is after I left the group, many of them found out the things I was saying was, you had to do that. Oh, Rod, for real estate, YouTube just hates me. YouTube hates me because what I figured out is YouTube will start sending out the notices after I'm live for about an hour. It's the craziest thing. And so I started marketing the book. I wrote the book. I consistently marketed it. And I got up to about $5,000 a month. I will tell you, when I released that book, and the first day I made $550. That was the best money I ever made in my life. That was like, it was just such a high to pull something out of my brain put it on paper, and people bought it. So during my YouTube promotion, I got up to about $5,000-$6,000 a month in sales. And since I was the hustling godfather, I didn't worry about it. I knew how to get stuff real cheap. So I was like, this is cool. And that went on for about 14 months. And then Storage Wars dropped. Auction Hunters dropped. All these shows dropped. Then everybody started going to the internet looking for information about storage auctions. And I was the dude. I was the only one that had that much information about storage auctions on the internet. Once in a lifetime opportunity. So because I really worked hard, because I learned how to work hard, I mean, my sales exploded. Because I had marketed the book, I had embedded each video with marketing materials, and they went straight to the blog. And then I had this ideal of where I would put my book on Amazon more expensive than what I was selling the PDF. It was the same book. And I sold more on Amazon at $99. This went on for years. I remember calling up Amazon because I used to watch my sales rank on Amazon like a hawk. And I noticed one day it dropped, but I did not see any additional sales. And then a few months later, Amazon did me this big adjustment of about $30,000. They found they made a mistake, and they compensated me for it. And that's what got me into this. But I would not be here if I did not get that foundational business education. I wouldn't be here at all. Wouldn't be talking to you guys. There wouldn't be this YouTube channel. There wouldn't be these platforms. And all of this came because I got a solid business foundation. And if I was just a dude from the boarding house and I came on here, I would be just as frustrated as these guys who buy these courses and who are unsuccessful. They don't understand that there should be some requirements for people getting into these courses, because you got people creating courses and this is their first time creating courses, and they don't really understand how to teach people stuff. They don't understand how you have to break concepts down to where they're elementary, childlike simple. Because if they're too complicated, people just won't get it. And as smart as I am, sometimes when I take an online course, I gotta go through it 5 or 10 times to fully get everything. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't understand that learning is a process. And like I'll tell you, when I was hired at Rent-A-Crate, they sent a guy down from Boston to teach me how to use Goldmine. He was with me for a week. And I want you to think about, they were paying him his salary, whatever he was making, bought him a plane ticket, put him in a hotel, and he was training me every day. So I learned how to input stuff, how they wanted me to do all this other stuff. And that probably cost him $3,000 to $5,000 to train me how to use Goldmine. I really want you to think about that. Cost him $3,000 to $5,000 to train me, plus what they were paying me. So when you start to factor up all of the stuff, it gets to be very interesting. And because I learned how to make money, this is why I can teach you guys how to make money the correct way. Because once again, I'm gonna be honest with you, you ain't gonna get this in a few weeks or a few months. You're looking at a learning curve of 2 to 3 years. And this is the learning curve that I went on when I was working those jobs and I was getting educated. I was getting paid to be educated how to run businesses. And one of the big issues that you have here is people have no patience. They want to take a course and be making 10, 15K just like that. And one of the things they need to understand is success is a process. Success takes people through these many levels. Success is something that I think success is a journey, and you get in the car of success and you start taking a ride, and it's about getting to certain milestones and destinations. It's not like bam, because you got so many people who want to take a course and instantly change their life, and they don't think about, well, this is where I'm at this year. If I continue on this path of success, where will I be this time next year? That's how you have to look at it, because that's what happened to me. You know, it was like, okay, I was here, it's in the boarding house. Then I moved to East Point, got the job at Rent-A-Crate. Then, bam, like 6 months later, I was in a different spot. Then 6 months from that point, I was in a different spot. And a lot of people don't give themselves time to be successful. They don't open up the door to success. They don't really let things percolate. They're so impatient because their circumstances are so dire. Because like, with Disruptive Male, I'm getting ready to start doing a lot of training over there. And one of the things I'm gonna put together is the Sugar Baby course. And, I had to get the information. I had to put myself in a position as a guy who would go on one of these Sugar Baby websites and engage. And I could tell you, most of these chicks never find a sugar daddy, because you got a million chicks looking for a man with the financial wherewithal to break them off some cheese. And there's just not that many men that have that financial excess. So one of the things that they do is they cycle on and off the website, or they'll be in conversations consistently, but they'll never find a sugar daddy, because they've read the blogs, they watched the HBO special where this chick was getting like $2,000 or $3,000 for just going on dinner dates with these good guys and not having sex. And they think that they can do it too. Kind of like Sierra marrying Russell Wilson. It's like, well, she got him and she had a baby by a rapper. But they forget the fact that Sierra had some star power and celebrity in her own right, where these are just regular chicks. I mean, celebrity, Sierra had some successful albums and stuff. So, I still don't think it's going to work out, but that's not neither here nor there. But you get people out here, because these girls, they assume that they're going to be able to get this guy, because just break this conversation off. This one chick, she had a fiance, and she was on the sugar side, and she's like, well, he knows, and I'm just looking for someone to help me. So she was looking for a friend that was going to help her pay her bills because she was medically disabled. And I was like, good luck with that. But there's this expectation that, you even see with these transgenders, like these men who decide to become women, or they're urged, however it works. They're disappointed that heterosexual men don't want anything to do with them. They can't understand why this heterosexual man does not want to date a woman with a penis. They can't understand that. It's like, well, I'm a good person. They should like me and should want to take me out and do all this other stuff. They don't understand. And this lack of an understanding on the transgender side and with women in general percolates to the rest of the economy, because you've got people out here who just don't have a firm understanding of what it takes to start and run a successful business. And I'm going to tell you, it's a four-letter word: work. You're going to have to put in the work. And that, and then someone other day in the comments was talking about, can you guarantee me if I do this, I'm going to get results? And I threw it back. Can you guarantee me that you're actually going to work as hard as you can? So here's another thing that I learned at Referrals. I learned how to work. One of the things that was part of my goals, requirements, was to make 250 phone calls a week. But Referrals had broke it down to just dialing someone and the phone ringing is not a phone call. A phone call was where I actually got someone on the phone. So that 250 phone calls per week actually was like 600 to 700 phone calls per week for me to get my 250. And I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, it was rough. It was so rough. Why are you calling me? Click, click, click. Rejection, 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 rejection. I mean, I didn't go home and cry, but I would go home a little depressed. I would go home like, good Lord, these people hate me. And it just sucked. But I went back because one night I wanted to quit. I was thinking it was my third week and I wanted to quit. And I sat down and I was like, okay, this is the most money you've ever made in your life. And this is when I started ordering books and more education to help me be better, because there was this website called Lupanics, and they had a How to Cold Call book, red and black cover. That's all it is. I don't stop asking me what the name of that book is. I don't know. And I ordered that book, and I read it literally in one day once it came, and it instantly changed my results. I started getting people to call me back. I started landing, I started making appointments. It was like literally this $16 book changed my professional life. And it was just like, people started like, man, how do you get them to call you back? They were like blown away and in awe and marveling how I got these folks to call me back, how I got all these appointments, the book. And the book actually taught me education is essential to success. But when you say education, people think about going to college. No. Education is whenever you get some help to help you do whatever you're doing better, that's education. And I was like blown away at how successful that book made me. So this is what got me back into my self-education kick. And I started getting all of these books and these tapes and stuff, and I would listen to them. And then when I became an outside salesperson, I would not listen to the radio when I was going on appointments. I would always have Brian Tracy, Earl Nightingale, or Tony Robbins playing in my cassette, because I had cassettes. Because my first order of Earl Nightingale Lead the Field was cassettes. I would have cassettes, and I would listen to that on the way to the appointment, and it would put me in the right mental environment to sell. And I did that consistently for years. So I learned how to work, how to put stuff together, and all of this stuff paid off when I started my own business. Thank you, Jeremy, for the $5 super chat. Love the videos, man. Keep it up. Got to put the Joe Rogan podcast on the back burner now until I get caught up. LOL. That's funny. So many things just happened during that period of massive self-education and the application of that self-education to my life. because this is why the reason that I'm going to do these business classes, because you've got people out here who are taking these online courses who are just essentially turds. They're not hardworking. They don't have good habits. And here's something else. They'll take this course, and the minute the course gets challenging, they'll stop taking it. Or they'll skip over what they don't like. They will half-ass the course. And then they would be like, it didn't work. Scam. And then if you sat them down and interviewed, did you follow all the modules? Did you do everything? And they'd be like, well, no, I really didn't. That's why I didn't get the best results. So you have that situation going on. And as an online course creator, I teach people, and when I put together a course, I put together a methodology where people can learn and where people can also be able to apply these lessons and make their lives better and to do whatever they're trying to do better. And this is one of the things that happens. Because I have my trials and tribulations. Like right now, YouTube hates me. YouTube will not send out signals. If I do them at night, I get more participation. Because I knew that not that many people would get to notice that I'm live. And it's part of the journey. Because when, eBay, at one point, eBay represented 68% of our revenues. And I bought this unit that had these antique dolls in it. And, we were doing about like $20,000 a month. Well, these antique dolls were selling like hotcakes at a fat lady convention. So we started doing that in a week. And I remember talking to eBay and I remember talking to PayPal, and it's like, well, your selling volume, it went through the roof. Like, yeah, that's the goal, to sell more, to make more money. But it was such a rapid shift, they got spooked and they shut everything down. Took all my ads down, held the money in PayPal. And when this happened, I was pissed off. I was upset. And there's nothing worse than sending emails and getting on the phone talking to people who can't help you. They just can't. These people were not empowered to help me to solve my problems. So I had to solve my problems myself because, we had a warehouse at the point. We had bills. We had people to pay. So I got on Craigslist and I went hard. I was listing like 100 ads per day on Craigslist. I was listing like phone covers, because remember the Trio? The Trio was popular back then. I was listing everything on Craigslist. And the first few weeks were tough. And about the third week, our Craigslist traffic quadrupled. And we started making money, and I was able to get money and rent trucks and go pick stuff up. But I didn't panic. I was pissed off, I was upset, but I didn't panic. I immediately figured out that I had to get income coming in, and I started working on, all right, well, we can't do eBay. What can we do? We can do Craigslist. Craigslist has always been good to us. And this is where the Craigslist marketing course came from. And this is one of the things I want you guys to understand. When you work hard in your business and you go as hard as you can, that intellectual property that you create can later on be sold. Because the Craigslist protocols, because Pimping Craigslist for Fun and Profit was my second best-selling book. And, Craigslist, then all of a sudden now you have Craigslist, you have Facebook Marketplace, you have OfferUp, you have all of this stuff that didn't exist back then. So, there are people still making the grip of money on Craigslist. But I was able to create that system from working hard, taking action, and then I applied that to my personal life because dating sites back in the day were nothing like the horrid cesspool of woman control, because women control online dating. Most of the activity on online dating sites is like 70% of the activity is male. So you've got, and women typically cycle on and off of these sites. So you're emailing this profile of a chick who's off the site, and this is why she never responds, because she'll come on, because essentially even pound puppies will get 100 to 200 messages a day. And they're like, I just want to date. I want to do. I'm not looking to do this as a job. And it could literally become a full-time job for them. And that's why they cycle off and they come back. So one of the things that I learned was, and this is also from esoteric knowledge because of doing all the Craigslist marketing, I knew that there was some amazingly attractive women on Craigslist. I would see them come into the warehouse. So I knew they were there, and I started writing these outrageous ads because, and also I had to test ads. And this is some stuff that came from the foundation because I had a firm business foundation in sales and marketing, business structure. I was able to put together and just tweak my Craigslist marketing system for the personal section of Craigslist, and it worked. Like, it was amazing how well it worked. I was just sitting there like, good Lord, this kind of stuff this is Craigslist? Wow. Give me some more, right? So I was on that, and it literally changed my dating life. I came off Match.com, and I was exclusively doing Craigslist for years. And then when I got on this digital income, when I wrote my first ebook, and I was living on that money for about 4 years, really 5, I actually took it up to another level because I had the time. Because, using Craigslist protocols, when you have to work, once again, you just don't have the time. Like right now, this is one of the times where I'm doing a lot of work. I wake up, I come in here, I go to work, and there's really not a lot going on romantically because I'm taking the time that I would have been using to chase chicks. Because here's a fact, and you can Google it. Married men make more money than single men. Google it. It's a fact. I'm going to tell you why. They got married. They stopped looking for women, and they were able to invest that time into their careers. Craziest thing. So this is like, I only got like 1 right now. Well, actually 2. And we don't really spend a lot of time together because I'm working for you guys to put out this content, because this is a lot. This is going to take me months to do, to reformat everything and get everything set up for B School, for hustlers, and to build the funnels. It's going to take months. And this is something I'm ready for because I understand what I have to do, and I have to work. And this is this 4-letter word that a lot of people don't like, is work. I have to put in the work. I have to put in the time, the effort, the energy. So once again, like with this YouTube channel, it's just compromised. I remember I used to do live streams and like have like 300 people in like 15 minutes. So, it's a process of, foundational stuff cannot be skipped over. It cannot be underestimated. It cannot be looked down upon because, once again, here's the issue with many people who are trying to start businesses. Their bad habits get in the way because, let's say you have a job and you have to do your job. You just do enough to keep them from firing you. You're going to make a horrible business owner. You're unmotivated. You taking shortcuts. You just do enough to keep your job. Then you go home and you want to hang out with Big Booty Betty and you want to have your weekends off. And then you're disgusted and pissed off because you don't have enough money to do things you want to do because you don't want to work. And then you keep saying, if I had my own business, I would come, I would perform, I would show. No, you would not. No, you would not. Your habits will mess you up. And this is one of the things that when I was working those trash jobs, I always performed them to the best of my abilities because I knew that that would serve me in the future. Because, you know, people are like, man, gee, why are you working so hard? I'm like, I'm doing this for me. I remember I had this job and it was funny. It was across the street from Horizon Pacific where I eventually ended up working. And essentially it was a decorator place. They did home decor, Christmas stuff, and they put me in the warehouse and all I had to do was look at stuff, make sure that it was correct, put it back in the box, tape it up, and stack it up. And the way that they taught me to do it was highly inefficient. So I figured out a way, because they let me listen to music. I had my headset on, I was listening to music, and I was just getting in the zone. And I created a system that allowed me to do twice as much work as their system. And they were very pleased. They was just like, you did all of that? And they went over it and they saw I didn't make any mistakes. And they like, just show up tomorrow. And I actually had that job for about 6 months because I was able, because I brought my hard work, I brought my time-saving stuff and my systems into this suck-ass job. Well, to me, it wasn't suck-ass because, you know, perspective is everything. I mean, I was in this warehouse. It was air-conditioned. It was clean. Or I could be out on top of a roof pouring hot tar. So this was what, you know, an inside clean job. And this was really, really cool. So I kept doing that kind of thing. And that's one of the things, even though I was working crappy jobs, I had a very good work ethic. And let me tell you guys, if you have a good work ethic, that's going to be amazingly effective for your business. If you think you can half do a job and just not show up and not perform, then all of a sudden you're going to magically transform when it's your business, you're wrong. It's not. It's not going to happen. So you're going to mess up yourself with your own bad habits. And the people that I see who are consistent are hard workers. And this is foundational stuff, you know. Growing up, had to do chores, had to work, had to do all types of stuff. One of the things that saved me was I wasn't afraid to work. That was one of the things that served me very well in a business space. I wasn't afraid to work. I wasn't afraid to get my hands dirty. And the foundational stuff in business is so important. And many people overlook this because they don't want to do that. They don't want to do the foundational stuff. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to learn new stuff because, you know, once again, I'm taking this YouTube course and I'm getting ready to go through it again from the beginning to the end. I'm going to do that probably another time. And this is what it takes to be successful. And a lot of people don't know how to learn. And this is one of the things, like, let's say you take an online course and you have no work ethic, you have a lot of bad habits, you don't know how to study, you don't know how to learn. The content could be gold, and you're not gonna do that well. And the content can be amazing. You're not just gonna do that well. I mean, it's crazy how that happens. You know. So let me do this. All right, let's see what y'all have to say. We got straight 480 602. What's going on? What's up, Jay? I'm watching Rich Folks Windows of Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay. That's pretty much true, straight. Rob, any recommendations on what email service to pick? I got banned from FB, so now I see the importance of a funnel email list. I'm doing a blog and the affiliate traffic on the side with YouTube. Pretty much start off with MailChimp because you can get up to 2,000 people free. Start there. And then just kind of do, and once again, figure out what you're doing. And then, Google what's the best email service for affiliate marketers. Man. LP, I just got a phone call to partner on a YouTube channel with a guy who is a strength trainer for a belt holding boxer. He's a popular personal training, but I don't know how to run the fitness channel. Research it, man. Just go ahead and research it. Sorry to hear that, straight 480 602. Yeah, Rob, blogs take a minute to develop traffic. I'm just letting you know, as someone who had one. Rob for real estate, I'm telling you, YouTube just hates this channel. Like, it performs much better at night, but I got another stream planned for the night. Oh, Black Caesar, they knew they stood a greater chance to make money from investing in training to get a higher return on investments. I've had people take my course and go from nothing to $100,000 a month. And I've had people take my course and just crashed and burn. Rob, unless you have skills, knowledge, and connections, it's almost impossible for quick success. That's why quick success is not the norm. Right, for real estate, it's hard, but it's going to be worth it. I spent thousands this past year and haven't broken even yet, but I know that 2020 will be a great year. Thanks, G. Yeah, because essentially everybody is pretty much on a 2 to 3 year journey. And this is something no one wants to talk about because, man, those 2 or 3 years. But if you're actively working and you're on your game, those 2 or 3 years are going to fly by. But if you're just sitting down waiting for instant success, it ain't gonna work. Kevin Bryant, thanks for sharing that. It is at an all-time low. No, I'm not rolling in life skills planner and workbook. I was putting ads on Craigslist and seen a few ads for sugar babies. I'm a bio major who needs help with bills, then the nude pictures. That's crazy. Mr. G, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Black Caesar, that's crazy. Socially awkward. They're not biological women. I don't know. That's crazy. All right, Jeremy. What do you mean pot revenues are looking spooky? I mean, cannabis is supposed to be the next greatest thing, the next stock. Rob, not gonna lie, I thought once making money online was like an M&L type scam. Now that I'm business mindset, my eyes are more open. Once again, for people who don't make money online, it's like witchcraft. It's kind of like spooky and mystical. Try this style. Does affiliate marketing make money? I know people who are millionaires off affiliate marketing. Essentially, what they're good at generating traffic. What would be a good thing for me to do while I'm at my day job? Start a service business. Black Caesar, like the notifications on Disruptive Mail are fine. Like I did a live stream over there, I had like 55 people on there, and the channel only has 2,000 subscribers. Rob, as a contractor, I can vouch for that. I've seen lazy contractors milking jobs for days, smoking weed, drinking on the site. If anything, the freedom makes bad habits worse because nobody can manage them. Amen, amen, amen. All right, Rob, because the blogs take time. They really do. They take time to take off. So one of the things with the foundational stuff we really got to talk about is when you work on the fundamentals, and I'm about to be a little racist here. Remember Duke against the Fab Five back in the day? Duke was fundamentally sound. They could not match up with the athleticism of the Fab Five. But the Fab Five was undisciplined and they were not fundamentally sound. And that's why Duke won that championship. So if you become fundamentally sound in your business, you're going to win, even against bigger, flashier competitors, because they're not fundamentally sound. Like, look at these quarterbacks, and you're starting to see it happen. I made this prediction about 2-3 years ago. I said, going forward, most of the quarterbacks in the NFL are going to be able to run. And you're starting to see this. Lamar Jackson, Pro Bowl. Deshaun Watson, Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Pro Bowl. Who else? You're going to see this. You're going to see this. More than likely, who's going to replace Blissett for the Colts is going to be some guy who can throw and run. The pocket passers of like Matt Ryan, who is immobile as hell, that will not be the future of the NBA. Russell Wilson, Pro Bowl. That's the future of the NFL. Because Lamar Jackson, he resurrected RG3's career because they had to have a backup who had a similar skill set. So once again, the fundamentals and the foundational stuff, and this is what I'm going to do in business classes. This is like I've got a lot of stuff over at B School for Hustlers because let's see. Let me go ahead. Man, who knows? Like Cam is a head case, man. If he would just get out of his emotions, man, this guy could be a Hall of Famer. Easy. But, so B School for Hustlers. Turn it around. All right. So, all right, this is what I will teach you how to make money. Okay. There we go. I gotta fix that, but these are the first lessons. I will teach you how to make money. I will teach you how to make money. Tamara M. Spiritual. Essentially, this is explaining how to start a business and taking some people who have businesses and explaining what they're doing. And I'm putting this for B School for Hustlers. And this will be preliminary because this will be part of the $1,600 package. Because now I've got 11 courses in digital education, how to make money online. Because once again, once we get into the foundational stuff, once you become fundamentally sound, making money isn't like a gamble. It becomes assured. Like, all right, when eBay cut us off, right? I knew how to sell. And, we had eBay, we were using Craigslist, and I just went hard on Craigslist until the eBay thing resolved itself because, I used to have videos like I got suspended on eBay like 4 or 5 times. And the first time was the longest time because I learned how to set up another eBay account. I learned how to set up another PayPal account. And also because I invested in tech, I had a Verizon wireless card so I could list stuff while I was out at the auctions and use that Verizon wireless card to create another IP so it didn't ever match up with the IP address at my house, and just went on. Every time they would suspend an account, bam, I would set up another one within minutes and be selling because we had so many products. It was so easy to get to a sizable rank really quickly. Tommy Lee, yeah, man, the system don't want to see many Bob Johnsons. That's what Byron Allen says. When we're talking about that level of success, I mean, that's just rare. I don't think it's a system thing. When you're making millions of dollars per month, that's just rare. That ain't a whole system thing. I would disagree with that. I would say one of the reasons that we don't have more Bob Johnsons is we don't have a lot of black people going for those type of businesses. Prince Diamond, thanks for a $10 super chat. Yeah, Cam is a pissed off diva. Winston Davis, can you tell me what's going to be in the art of holding? Are you going to cover single member LLC and those that are remote? What do you mean those are remote? Winston, when are you going to migrate the old accounts from the old heart of holding to the new? Only people who are going to the new stuff is people who bought in December. I'm not going to go back like years and no, I ain't doing that. Wilson, what's the best way the questions answered via the course and what type of? Well, I'm probably going to start a once a week Q&A session for people who buy courses. If you bought the Art of Holding or you're on the payment plan, if you bought the Art of Holding like months ago, I'm not going, because see this new thing, matter of fact, let me just show you. Seeing is a lot easier. All right. See, the new Art of Holding is going to include these business classes. So there's going to be new content. And this is the strategic holding company, how to set up and deploy. I'm going to get really deep. All right. This is what's already here. It's going to take someone weeks to go through this course. And I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to fill in some gaps, add some more stuff. So this will be new information. So if you bought the old Art of Holding course and you did not buy in December, I'm not going to migrate all these folks over here because this is what's going to happen. If I was to do that, the people who got in for the cheap, earlier this year, they're going to hit me up with 1,000,001 questions. So, I will probably make an offer to the people who want to migrate to the new business because I'm going to do, matter of fact, let me do this while I'm thinking about it. Let's see. I'm going to add this because it makes sense. All right. So you're going to get, anyone that buys the new Art of Holding. Well, anyone that buys the $1,600 deal or $199 deal gets everything. Because like I said earlier in the live stream, that anything that I do before the end of the year was going to be part of the bundle. So it started off at 8 courses, now it's up to 11. So we're going to keep going with that. Let's see. Overseas right now. Let's see, if you did not buy, because see, once again, this is new information. It ain't going to be the same old information. It's going to be new information. It's going to include new stuff. What I will do is make people a serious deal once I get stuff situated. Jakeem, Hustler's Kung Fu Life Skills ain't going nowhere. I'm still actively selling that stuff. Yeah, it'll be a deal. Because one of the things that, I want you guys to understand, this is going to be new stuff. It ain't going to just be, I didn't just transfer what was in the old Art of Holding. This is going to be new stuff. It's going to include new things. So it's not going to be the same old thing. It's going to be dramatically better. We're going to set some stuff up like in ways I've never done before. Rob, like, just let everyone know that the Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills ain't going nowhere. Actually, I'm going to be reformatting that website as well because, the information is still amazing. It's just I'm going to direct new people to the Art of Holding, to be the strategic holding company at B School for Hustlers. Because it's just integrated, because I can use Square and I can integrate the payment plans versus having to say, hit this PayPal link and then I add you to the course. Winston, how long will the old info be relevant? Still relevant. This is one of the things that I do. I don't teach trendy stuff. This stuff I teach will be good for years. Years and years and years. It's evergreen. So once again, once I, because the price is going to go up once I add more stuff to it. And, price ain't going to change before the end of the year. We've got 13 more days. So that's how it's going to be. But we're going to get into a lot of foundational stuff. Foundational stuff is so important because, I've been talking about how I got this business foundation that allowed me to start GC Solutions, that allowed me to start the upscale garage sale, that allowed me to start a YouTube channel and be successful, that allowed me to write a book and be, it's because of these fundamental principles that allowed me to do all of this. And this is the thing I'm teaching, because it ain't flashy, it's not sexy. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that you're going to do this and you're going to be with Big Booty Betty in the Lambo this time next month. But what I will promise you, if you do the work, you will be successful. You will be very successful. And it's just not going to happen as quick as you want it to. And that's the big problem. Let me write this down. Let's see. Because what I can do is send a message to everybody who's in the art of holding. I can send them a message through the website. Offer migration deal to all right, so that's on my list of things to do. Rob, exactly. When Jordan practiced the fundamentals daily, a strong foundation builds a strong home. And that's a great example. Remember when Michael Jordan wasn't great at free throws? He worked on it. He worked on his game and it got better because he became fundamentally sound. And this is one of the things that I want you guys to become sound in the fundamentals of business, because once you become sound in the fundamentals of marketing and you learn how to market, you'll never be broke again. This is what I did with the Craigslist marketing protocols. I tweaked them a little bit and moved them over and used them for personal use, and they worked amazingly well. That was a marketing campaign for my personal life, and it worked amazingly well. Let's see. Boss Life. Hey, OG, I decided to run my family like a business on the financial side. Now I have a concrete plan to raise $30,000 of debt by July. Congratulations. I like that. Louis J, I'm currently enrolling in your Hustlers Kung Fu Life Scout. What course are you enrolled in, Louis J? And this is, because one of the things I'm going to do is also use this site for personal finance. So there's going to be a lot of personal finance courses coming up. Like, because I will probably just add that stuff to the money management course. I haven't really made a decision. But once again, once you become rooted in foundational stuff, you can extend that, because this is how business works. Once you learn something from one business model, you can apply and take those lessons and apply them to another business model. All right, Winston. No, Trump ain't going to be impeached. The House is going to start impeachments, and the Senate ain't going to do nothing. They've already pretty much said, we don't care if he did something wrong. We don't think it's enough to remove him, so we're not going to remove him. Unless some more information come out that damns Trump, it's just going to be business as usual. Now, being a president that has been impeached, it's only been 3. It's not a good look. So yeah, they're going to vote to impeach him, but they're not going to kick him out of office. That's a whole nother thing. But, this is what we're going to be doing. With I will teach you to make money, the science, the tactics and procedures, how to start a business. Because we're going to get down to the root level. Like when you start a marketing campaign, What's the most important thing about the marketing campaign? It's not the product. It's the audience. And this is why, that's actually covered in That Will Teach You to Be Rich. Many people start a business with a product or service, then they try to find an audience. The hustling backwards. If you find the audience first, you're going to do so much better. I just remember you said when you started the scripture style for one. Well, once again, everybody who was on that, because I've had some people reach out to me, I'm going to make you guys a deal as well, too, because it's going to be new information. The real Blackula. I don't know, man, because once again, it just depends. It really depends on what you want to do. Because, see, you could do whatever you want to do when you start a business or open up a business. It could be whatever you want. You could do whatever you want to do. A lot of people are just not used to that level of freedom. But that's enough for the day. That's the chit chat for the day. I will see you savages later. And for anyone who wants the I Will Teach You How to Be Rich courses, the links and stuff will be under the video really soon, once I can get them under there. So I'll talk to you guys later.